Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In this week's we will be looking at art styles from beginning to finished, and we will also be looking at three artists: Leilani Joy, Shichigoro Shingo and Agnes Cecile. Everyone has their own skill set. Some achieve great masterpieces where others produce stunning stick figures. Either way, everyone can draw. Some are gifted and some are needing to put more work into it. There's no such thing as the perfect piece. If everything was perfect, there would be no individuality. Just look at all the things we have today: entertainment, homes, businesses, communities, and so much more. All these things started off somewhere, and not just from our ideas, but everything would have been put down onto paper. This can be from interior design, games development, greeting cards, and so on. The very principles of drawing are coded within us. However, some of us choose to explore it further. The artists I'm about to show you have started from somewhere in drawing or painting, and I'm going to show you some of their earlier works and some of their recent works to demonstrate progression, development and evolution. Let's start off with Leilani Joy, whose art style is heavily influenced and combined with the movement Art Nouveau and Fashion Vogue. Along the way, Joy's style has become colourful, illustrative and unique. But how did she start off? This piece is one of her earlier works, and this piece is one of her recent works. See how much her style has improved and evolved since she started. In this piece, the colours are smooth in transition. Her lines on Mulan's hair is clean and tidy, and her final outcome in general is crisp. It looks more experienced and professional. But what do I mean by experienced? Let's contrast this with her earlier work. The colour transitions aren't as smooth in comparison to her recent work. Her lines aren't as clean, and her final outcome looks inexperienced. In transition from this piece to this piece, Joy started out as a newcomer to acrylics, and over time she, what I like to call, tamed the medium. Let's move on to our second artist, Shichigoro Shingo. Specialising in the art of digital mediums, Shingo's pieces capture a sense of futuristic dystopia with cyborgs, robots and disorderly machines. His style is rather reminiscing of H.R. Geiger, Machinarium and an upcoming game called Scorn. Like we did with Joy, let's look at some of Shingo's work. This piece was one of his earlier works. This piece was one of his recent works. Notice how different they are in colours, concept and level of detail. In contrast to his recent work, Shingo's style featured a combination of organic life, technology of some sorts, and a carefully selected colour scheme, in this case with its blues. The background detail adds somewhat more action to the work. In this case, the background of his Alice piece illustrates a shower of clubs, spades, diamonds and hearts. At first quick glance, it looks like debris or meteors falling from the sky, but on closer inspection, as I mentioned before, are the suits in solitaire. His earlier work, stated in this piece, shows limitations in colours, has a grainy effect, and only has detail applying to this figure. You can see a tremendous transformation in Shingo's style, and how evolved his work has become. This demonstrates his progression and how acquainted he is with his work, i.e. getting to know his style. Last but not least, Agnes Cecile. Cecile's works can contain watercolours, varnish, oils and digital mediums. For this, I will be focusing on, in my opinion, one of the hardest mediums to master: watercolours. I feel that for this, Cecile is the perfect example to show how she tamed her watercolour pieces and how she started off. This piece was one of her earlier works, and this piece is one of her recent works. The juxtaposition of how Cecile started watercolours to producing stunning paintings that not only mastering human faces with watercolours, but applying a skill of layering watercolours over watercolours. You can see how amazingly she painted a face, then laid different colours of watercolours for the flowers without it bleeding into each other. Even when watercolours are dry, they can be easily erased with water, whether it be spillages or trying to add tones to your work, let alone layer them. In this piece, like with Joy, Cecile was inexperienced with watercolours. It's stiffer and less flowing compared to her recent works. This shows dedication and passion, as most of her works are mainly watercolours. Viewing these two pieces tells a story of how much she loves watercolours and many years of painting with them. Now, it's good to show a variety of different artists to get your imagination running wild, but how would we put it into practice? Although a little tricky, but having your own style can enhance your individuality. Of course, there's no issue in following the rest of the herd with your style, that's completely up to you. Realistically, there's never a finalisation in art. We can get close to finish, but when looking back on it, you'll always have a say in what you could have done better and what you would have changed. This style I've had for years now, and in my opinion it's unusual and unique as I've not seen a style like it. So, as an example, I'm going to demonstrate utilising my style in finalising an image to the best of my ability. And if it's polished professionally enough, I'll make it available on my Redbubble shop. Feel free to draw along with me, as this will be a little speed painting. So sit back, relax and enjoy.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together.
And so this is my final thing. I wanted to show a phobia, but as you can see, doesn't really look like a phobia. I wanted to do the phobia, nephophobia. I'm saying phobia a lot, but it just looks like this guy has just a strange shadow behind him. I was gonna add like little birds like flying off in the distance, but I didn't, and it doesn't really look like a cloud. So yeah, it pretty much didn't turn out exactly how I wanted it to turn out. Would you buy this? Probably not. I wouldn't buy this. I think what I'm gonna do later on is we'll go through all my old drawings, maybe do a video on like, oh, I'm going to redraw this because that's original. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope it gives you some insight to, you know, where you can start off, and if you choose to do something like this for your future career, to carry on doing what you're doing, and eventually you'll start to see some improvements and watching how your style has improved and getting used to the mediums or the materials that you're using. And as always, I'll see you next time. Stay thirsty. There is a bowl here, just so you know.